Good morning, everybody. This is Todd with the Forex Nitty Gritty Insiders Daily Video. We're at the beginning of another week, and I hope you had a great weekend. We want to make sure that we understand some basic things here when trading the simple trading method, especially the simple trading method. We are going to kind of go back and talk about some of the basics this week as we look at trading the simple trading method. I wanted to focus in here on looking at the hourly charts. And one of the things that you'll notice over the last several days is that we've really kind of experienced a lot of these tight sideways movements and then kind of an explosion out of them. And so that can be very difficult, especially when we're relying on the fact that we want to have deliberately traded movements in the market. But if things are moving sideways, it can be very difficult. And that difficulty is such that we need to recognize it and then be able to make adjustments for our trading when we see that. Overall, on the hourly chart here, in fact, as we look at this, we've seen a nice, strong downtrend here. And if we compare that to the daily chart, you can see that we've really come down strong. In fact, on the daily chart here, we're down almost 500 pips off of the high. And we're down in an area where some support might be seen or starting to develop. And so, pretty strong bearish movements, and that is clearly seen on the 1 hour charts. Now, we want to start to look for things like double bottoms, head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders to see that there's a base or a support being set in here. As you know, when we trade, we want to know where those areas of support and resistance are located. Now, if we compare what's going on there to what's going on with the Aussie dollar, you can see the Aussie dollar has actually moved up in the range of 80 pips here over the past couple of days, and we're getting near some resistance. So the trend is up, but we're near a resistance, and we want to be at a support area if we're looking to enter into a trade there. Now, comparing that to the daily charts, we've actually, instead of moving down like we saw on the euro dollar, we've actually moved up almost 300 pips on the Aussie dollar. And so you can see that this uncorrelated moves that we're playing with really make it difficult, and there's a lot of volatility happening, not only in how quickly things are moving, but also in the uncorrelation of a lot of these pairs. Here's the pound dollar in a daily chart, and you can see that its movement from its highs back here to where we're at, 450 pips. And on the hourly chart, again, you see some of these real tight sideways movements, and then we're seeing it drop down here. The U.S. Japanese yen daily chart, really choppy sideways, very difficult to trade. Hourly chart, a little more bearishness to the downside. And then the CAD, a little bit of bullishness here coming up. And then on the daily chart, you can see that we've had a nice upper channel. So kind of going back to the basics, the first step in looking at the simple trading method is really to be able to identify what the trend is. And so as we start to look for opportunities to trade, the first thing that we're going to be wanting to do is identify this topic or concept of where the trend is. And the trend simply tells us where the movement has come from. So it's either come from the upside moving down or from the downside moving up. And you get a trend that's in a downtrend or in an uptrend. Doesn't tell us or guarantee to us that it's going to be doing anything in the future. But what happens is with trends comes momentum. And this momentum oftentimes will continue for an extended time. And so if something is moving up and the momentum is going up, well, that momentum is going to likely continue to some point in the future. Now, we don't know when that is, and so we need to keep an eye on that. But the idea is that because the trend has been moving down, that momentum is going to continue to move it down. And we can use things like, moving averages. We can look at the price, highs and lows, price, highs, lows. So when we're making higher highs and higher lows, or lower lows and lower highs, we know that that trend is either moving up or down. And the moving average, you can look at the direction that it's going to help you identify that momentum also. So take some time to review your identification of the trend and how you determine whether it's moving up or down and the momentum is moving up or down. And then make sure you're applying that properly to the simple trading method as you look for opportunities to trade. So we'll wrap that up for today. Make sure that you focus in on that, and tomorrow we'll talk a little bit more about the rules we need for the simple trading method. So until then, have a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.